Yes, sir. It's the boy Lulu chilling with Mhlagalaga, so make sure you subscribe. Dango. What's up to Slikour? Told him about my idea, and then he loved it. So don't hold yourself back, Like, I feel like my biggest problem is that I always put up barriers when I want to do something.
Yeah.
For example,
he's like, I'm going to Kenya. I'm like, hey, bro, like, I don't really understand how inspired I was. I'm like, bro, this guy is actually going to Kenya. And like, if you actually genuinely want to succeed in something, your craft, you need to fall in love with the journey.
the biggest source of inspiration should come from your circle of friends.
Like when you're surrounded by winners, bro, you're also gonna end up winning. You know what I'm saying? I think we're all going through something in life. It's just important that you just keep your head up and you actually just work on improving yourself, just getting through. There's nothing wrong with getting out of it. The problem is staying. So you need to want to get out of that.
You may have it hard. All of us have it hard. No one's gonna feel sorry for you. So just pick yourself up and carry on working.
Damn, I got my hands tied up, I suffer in silence.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Lux, and welcome to the channel. Yo, if it's your first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, the like, and everything. And yes, we're in the title. Today we have something very special lined up. I'm going to be doing another episode of the Age Card. And on this episode, we have someone really special lined up, someone that you guys are familiar with. It's your boy, Luyanda Mabaso. And we're just going to be getting in touch of his journey and where he's at right now, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be having a conversation and just gathering up everything we can know about the man, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's going to be a very interesting podcast. I haven't seen the boy in a while, so it's going to be very insightful. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. If you do, be sure to leave a like, comment down, because it's very good for the channel. It helps us grow. And yeah, man, let's just get into it. Alright, big guys, like I said, I am here with the influential, the Fresh Prince of Centurion,
Yes, sir.
the
boy Lulu.
The boy Lulu, gone boy Lulu. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yes, sir. What's up? It's your boy Luyanda Mabaso. And I'm very honored to be featured on this episode of the Age Card.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Shout out for coming out, man.
Of course.
It's good to have you. Anything that you want to say to the people before we get started? Where they can find you, what you've been doing, all of that.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram, Luyanda.mabaso_, TikTok, Luyanda.mabaso, and I also have a podcast under the Slikour Live platform called The Ultimate Plug with Luyanda Mabaso, so please do check that out too. Thank you.
And yeah, man, let's get into it, man. I hope you're ready. Be loose. Don't
Think
about it like a conversation with me, man. Like, don't take it too seriously. Obviously, there's a camera involved, so yeah. So moving on to the first question: How has your experience as an influencer shaped your perspective on success and personal growth since our high school days?
It's definitely shown me that your life can change overnight. Like, hey man, it's been a journey full of ups and downs, but like a lot of ups, more ups than downs, to be honest. It's been a very fun journey, life changing too. It showed me that like if you put in the work, you'll see the results.
Yeah, definitely, bro. And I feel like for me specifically, I only started seeing the put in the work, you'll see the results at an older age. You know what I'm saying? Because when we were doing the BoyzRSA thing, like we were just doing it for fun.
We were doing it for fun. We saw the results.
Yeah.
And there came a time when we started slacking as the BoyzRSA.
And we were seeing results.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when, and I feel like I'm not too mad that happened because there were lessons that to be learned from that, So it showed me that if you don't put in the work, you won't see the results. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. No, definitely, bro. Definitely. I feel like everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can also say I wasn't mad when the boys was kind of like crumbling and falling apart, because essentially, like, there's lessons that we had to learn as individuals, grow as individuals. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, not to say the group was holding us back, but there's a lot that we had to go through in order to develop as individuals. Like with me forming my own brand, with you also forming your own brand, your own identity, So yeah, there's lessons behind it, man. But moving on to the next one, could you share a memorable moment from our time together in high school that has had a lasting impact on your journey as an influencer?
Definitely. So there was this day we were shooting in Midrand and Blue Hills.
Yeah.
The very, very first time people went crazy over us, asking for pictures.
Oh, yeah.
So us. That was a very heartwarming moment, you know, and it's lost with me to this day. I don't think that's a day I'll never forget, you know, because there's been many days where people come up to me, tell me how much I inspire them, or ask for pictures, things like that. But that very first time, you know, nothing was as heartwarming as that first one.
Yeah, no, I get that 100%. Because, like you said, how your life can change overnight. Because we actually went away.
Because it was COVID, you know, everyone was in their houses. We were just shooting videos, like dropping on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd get a lot of love on social media, but it's not real.
Yeah, it's not the same as like actually going out and people actually going crazy.
Yeah, you know, so it was a very shocking moment for all of us.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Like, I feel like I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like actually experiencing that for what it was. Like, we didn't even have time to adjust to it because it was like, I remember it was like during that lockdown period where like people weren't allowed to go out at all. We were dropping. And the second we actually went out, I think it was like a
August.
Yeah, our house party or something. The one on the rooftop. I forgot what it's called. Remember that?
The Willy Cardiac.
Yeah, the Willy Cardiac one.
That was later, but still.
Yeah, but that was the first time I actually like realized that like we out here.
Yeah, yo.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's when like you're actually outside, and the thing is, we weren't going outside as you were popular. Now we were just going outside
to have fun.
And it's like the way people were treating us, the treatment that we got at the party, the way people were reacting to seeing us. It was all huge because at the same time we're in high school. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big moment for me, man. Like genuinely. But yeah, I hear you on the previous day. That was actually like it was very heartwarming, especially because we're all together as boys. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. I actually value the fact that like we're still in touch and actually like making time to chill and stuff.
As much as you guys don't see, like you don't see us on your screens as much as a collective.
Yeah.
But best believe we still chill together. You know? Like I'll give Clarks a call and be like, you know, I want to come chill with you. We'll do the same. Maps always pulls through. Like we're still very close.
Yeah, we're still very close.
Even off camera.
Yeah, it's just that obviously the shooting side of things is a bit shaky.
Yeah.
But like we are working on it. But like, yeah, man, when it's 4L, it's 4L for real, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just grateful that I have brothers such as you guys. Moving on to the next question. As a member of TheBoyzRSA and now hosting your own podcast, the Ultimate Plug, what inspired you to pursue a career in media and content creation?
Okay, so my journey dates back to my early high school days, you know. I've always had an interest for the media side of things. So it started in grade 9 when I took a photography course at school, you know.
Oh yeah.
So I
was in Kira.
Yeah, but the Kira went to
okay.
Yeah. So I took a photography course which led up to me taking pictures in and around school. Being the first team rugby's official photographer, things like that. So that's where it all started, you know. Then I moved to Gauteng and I kind of lost touch with the photography side of things.
Yeah.
But essentially, that was around the time TheBoyzRSA started. You know, a few months after that.
Yeah.
So it all worked out in the end. I'm in a film school, you know. I've also been passionate about film, so this whole content creation and media thing it's always something that I've been in touch with. You know, I've always been in love with it, and it makes me happy how many opportunities have come through it. You know, for example, TheBoyzRSA. TheBoyzRSA opened up many channels for all of us.
So many.
Led to me having my own podcast. There's other things in the plans, but obviously I can't put them out there right now because it's still the planning days. You know, back in 2020, even when TheBoyzRSA started, I never would have imagined myself working with the big brands that we've worked with. I never would have imagined half the things that have happened in my journey, you know. So I am very grateful.
For me, it's like, dude, it's not even like a thought, something that I could comprehend. You know, like when you're in high school, you think about your future, but you don't think about your future like that, like for real, you know what I'm saying? So seeing how life has changed and how we've grown to the individuals that we've grown to, it's like, it's crazy, man. And this is me saying, I'm proud of you for everything that you're doing, bro. Like, you're doing your thing, man. Keep pushing, bro. And also, like, while we're still on the ultimate part, how did you actually like get into doing that? Like, how did you, you know, like get in touch with Slikour and obviously allow him, like get him to give you a platform on his channel and all of that?
Okay, so it started. Okay, so I'm a person that watches a lot of podcast interviews, you know, on YouTube. That's probably the things I watch the most, you know. So Deleuze, the rapper, I came with a very, very different concept when it comes to podcasts, you know, like he added an element of fun, and I really truly fell in love with it at that point. And he inspired me, you know. I wanted to do something along the lines of what he was doing, you know. And as much as as of right now, it's not the direction that I wanted it to go when I initially planned it, but I'm still working on that. So I started after watching those delays episodes and all that. I started planning out, you know, writing on my notes, how I want this to work, how I want certain things to work, how I want the podcast to work, you know. So it's something I've always had in mind, but then equipment was the biggest challenge, you know, because equipment is expensive. No doubt about that. So fast forward a few months down the line, this is now the beginning of 2022, man. So we were invited we as the BoyzRSA were invited to a networking event. Like influence experience. Yeah, so I found out when we got there that it was hosted by Slikour, you know. So I saw that as the perfect opportunity to pitch my idea to him, you know. And at that time, I was very shy. I was very shy. Besides Slikour, I did plan to network with a lot more other people, but I didn't because of nerves. But yeah, at least something worked out on that day. So yeah, I went up to Slikour, told him about my idea and all that, and then he loved it. So then we exchanged numbers, told me to give him a call in a few days. I did, and then after that we got into the planning process of the show and all that, and then a few months down the line it happened.
Yo, dude, that is actually so crazy because I actually had no idea. I literally had no idea that that's the route that you took to actually making all of this happen. You know what I'm saying? Nah, big ups to you, bro. Because when I went to that event, I wasn't actually looking at it as a networking event. You know what I'm saying? I just saw it as like, okay, I'm going out with my boys to this event that we got invited to. But I didn't actually take advantage of the opportunity that it gave us. You know what I'm saying? And you did. So big ups to you for that. And obviously, it paid off, you know what I'm saying? This is just advice to you guys, like whenever you get opportunities such as this one, or just take advantage of those opportunities. Don't take such moments for granted. And also I wanted to touch on him speaking about equipment being expensive and stuff. Obviously I'm starting a podcast right now. I don't have equipment at all. I'm shooting this on my phone. But yeah, I feel like with me, I just want to start somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And one thing that you guys need to understand is that you as the audience, I'm doing this for you guys, but at the same time, you guys are my investors. You know what I'm saying? You watching this is you investing into the show. So this is me saying thank you guys for being investors. And one thing that I would like to request is just engage with the content as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? Leaving a comment, liking, sharing it, and even just this one is actually very important because I feel like a lot of people don't understand the concept of ad revenue and stuff. So basically creators get paid through ad revenue, you know what I'm saying? So the more people engage with the ads that are on your video, the more revenue you generate. And the more revenue you generate, okay, let me speak for myself. The more revenue I generate, the more I can actually reinvest into the business, which is being my channel, you know what I'm saying? So you don't even have to watch all the ads, just 30 seconds of the ads, and just engage, leave a comment while you're watching the ads so you don't get bored. And yeah, man, that's all I wanted to touch on. Moving on to the next one.
Before you move on, just to touch on those 2 points that Flax was talking about, I'll start off with networking. Networking is a very, very important thing to do. don't wait until you're at a networking event like ours. You could be at the club, you know,
that's true.
At the club, at a student accommodation, wherever. Like I'm giving examples. And say there's been many connections or many people I've worked with that I met in the club, and I took advantage of the fact that we're together, you know. If you bump into a fellow creator, or if you bump into someone who inspires you, someone who's in the same line of work with you, collaboration is important in this thing that we do, you know. So take advantage of that. And also, what was the other thing we touched on?
It's all about investments, like
okay. In terms of that, don't hold yourself back, you know. Like, I feel like my biggest problem is that I always put up barriers when I want to do something, you know. For example, okay, I'll just make a dumb example. Say I wanted to start a YouTube channel, but I didn't have an iPhone. I can still record, you know. You can still record. Obviously, as time goes on, you'll be able to afford that iPhone, or you work towards getting it. Your quality will improve, but everyone has to start somewhere, you know. And I'm happy that Clarks didn't put any barriers towards him starting this podcast. Found a way to make it work, and he's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. So big ups to you for that.
Thank you. So since we're still on the topic of the ultimate plug and all of that, in your podcast you actually interview very influential individuals. Some are celebrities. So can you tell us about a guest who actually had a huge impact on you?
It's actually, I'd say the two there's two. The two that had the most impact on me has to be actually three. I'm sorry, there's three. So it's Blackie, Saudi, and Reggie Mohlabi. So I'll start with Reggie. You know, Reggie is someone I've been friends with for years. You know, even before this whole this YouTube thing started. You know, and I feel like your biggest source of inspiration should come from your circle of friends. You know, as it is with me. You know. For example, right now Reggie is in Kenya. You know, that is huge.
That's so huge.
And it was so random,
bro. It was because he literally posted. I remember he posted on his status, him like wrapping the bag in the airport. So I asked him like, dude, where are you going? Because I mean it's a school week. Like I'm asking him, dude, where you going?
On a Monday.
It's on a Monday. He's like, I'm going to Kenya. I'm like, bro, like you know, I don't really understand how inspired I was. I'm like, bro, this guy is actually going to Kenya, and you know, like people lie about that kind of stuff. He was actually being legit,
and you know, like. We all started this journey together.
But
it makes me happy. It makes me happy how far he's gotten, and you know, it's truly inspirational. So, in terms of him, it was just a source of inspiration as someone close to me, as my brother. And then with Saudi, Saudi, you know, Saudi was one of the biggest rappers back in 2016. You know, in those years, and then unfortunately due to certain problems with record labels and all that really affected his career. Other things that I found out during the interview, such as the passing away of his close friend. There's a lot that happened in his life, you know. But he didn't let that stop him from shining. And stop him from being like getting where he wants to be. You know? Right now, he was able to like sort out those contractual disputes and all that, and now he's back in the game, you know. And it's truly inspiring how his career had like ups and like some serious downs, but he's still standing up today, you know. So
definitely.
In terms of Saudi, it was that, and then Blackie, sure, a lot of us know Blackie's story, you know, about the move from Durban and all that. But it's a story that will always touch me. It's a story that will always touch me. It's a story that will always touch me because of challenges that he faced in his career as well. As I said earlier on in this interview, I find myself putting up barriers when I want to do something, and he didn't let such get to him, you know. And like there was a lot going on, like he did not have a place to live and all that, but he still made it work, and right now he's one of the biggest artists in South Africa and all that. So those were some of the interviews that had the most impact on me.
No, I get that 100%, man. And yeah, just touching on that, like, guys, this thing that we call life is not easy at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not easy at all. It's gonna come with challenges, and if you actually genuinely want to succeed in something, your craft, you need to fall in love with the journey. You know what I'm saying? It's very important to fall in love with the journey, because nothing worth having comes easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because if it was easy, they would all have it.
Yeah, we'd all have it, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that it's actually hard, and if you're actually willing to put in the work and like actually see it through, the results that you're gonna get from that are gonna be like so exponential, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, guys, I get why touching on Reggie being a source of inspiration, like, yo, bro, I don't think you guys understand like how much Reggie inspires not only us but me, you know what I'm saying? Like, Reggie genuinely does inspire me, you know, like, I'm actually grateful that I have such an individual in my circle, you know what I'm saying? Because like, dude, Reggie's actually out here doing this thing. He's one kid that's actually showing the youth that it's possible, you know what I'm saying? That it's genuinely possible. Like, we started this thing shooting on a phone, bro, like just having fun, shooting a video, and now he's in Kenya. He's on a billboard in, what is it, California?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's actually reaching heights, and that is because he's actually putting in the work. And you know, like, when you're surrounded by winners, bro, you're also gonna end up winning. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately for some of us, we can't actually surround ourselves with winners because maybe the friends that you have are not like, don't have that mindset.
Same mindset.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like watching such podcasts, you know, like, it can change your mindset, and just wanting personal growth for yourself can also just change the way that you think and the way that you do things, and seeking inspiration from external sources. Then maybe you can be that inspiration for your group and change their mindset, you know what I'm saying? So don't let your circle demotivate you. Not all of us are privileged enough to have such friends, but yeah, I guess. But moving on to the next question, actually, what challenges have you faced building your own brand and podcast, and how have you overcome them if you have?
There's been quite a few challenges, to be honest. The one that comes to the top of my mind is how unprofessional some people can be, you know?
Yo, I hate that.
Yeah, like, people in the industry are, they're so unprofessional.
I feel like it's not them being unprofessional. You know what? I was actually thinking about this today. You know what it is, bro? It's like this. Imagine, okay, let me give you an example. Let's say you call, I don't want to give a name.
Okay, but
yeah, let's say you call someone to shoot something, right? Then they end up not pulling up.
Which has happened before,
Yeah,
by the way.
and that same person gets called by a bigger thing.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna do everything in their power to actually make sure they get there. And if they don't get there on time or they can't make it, they're actually gonna communicate that. But because it's you or it's me in the situation, they don't necessarily communicate because they don't see the need to. They just see it as it's Claps, it's Luyanda, whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, that just shows you how much they value your craft. You know what I'm saying? And it's important to move up as much as like it's gonna benefit your brand working with that person. It's important to work with people that actually value you as a creator. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna work with someone that doesn't value you, bro, they're not gonna like show up the way that they're supposed to.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
that's true.
And it's like, for them, it's like, Claps, whatever. But someone else, it might be like, yo, shit, Claps.
Yeah.
I'm getting an opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Nice, split.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you need to work with people that genuinely value like your time, bro, and your efforts, and you as a creator. That's what I hate calling up people and you agree to doing the thing. Then when it's time to actually show up, you don't
problem.
Because things, dude, I understand that you're a busy person and you have things to do. But then don't agree.
Yeah, and another thing, you communicated in advance.
You know what I'm saying?
They can work their way around.
Yeah, dude. And if you can't make it, communicate with me. Don't you, like, I understand that life happens, you know what I'm saying? There's things that come up, but just communicate.
Yeah.
The same way you would communicate it with a big brand. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I hate about people being unprofessional. But let me let you continue.
Yeah, so with everything that Shaq said, it's something that I would do, you know, and it was someone who I really look up to, you know. also someone who's very young, but he's done like some very boss moves, some very very good moves.
Yeah.
So it's someone I look up to, and to this day I look up to him because I didn't let everything that happened with him not showing up to the interview determine what type of person he is. He's still a very he's still killing it,
Yeah.
Still a very inspirational person.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was hurt by him not pulling up and not communicating, because it's that type of thing of so at that time, okay, so we every time we bump into each other in person, I'd tell him about it and whatever, and then he's like, okay, drop me a message. Yeah. So at the time when we were supposed to shoot, he didn't have a phone, it was stolen.
Yeah.
So we were talking on Instagram. Fine, I tell him about it, I tell him the date and everything. He's like, okay, cool, he'll come. Fine, 2 days before the interview, I remind him. So the interview was on Wednesday, I reminded him on Monday. I'm like, okay, yo, just as a reminder, we're shooting at Kai on Wednesday at this time.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, cool, I'll be there. Wednesday comes now, and my gut feeling was telling me, this guy, there's a chance he might not pull up.
Yeah.
Let me just remind him now. So I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? Just a reminder, we're shooting at 12 p.m. Please try not to be late,
Yeah.
Fine. Oh yeah. So, and that day was a very hectic day for me because I had to balance it out. So I had to shoot, I had a shoot at school, which is basically my biggest mark for the term,
Oh, damn.
So I had to, so I was the producer and I was also an actor in that film. And then also I had to shoot that interview with this person. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a very hectic day that day, So fine, I get to school, and then I requested that we do the scenes that I'm in first because I have something to do from 12 to 1.
Yeah.
Fine, they understood, we did it, Then, I worked hard, worked my ass off to have everything done in time. Fine, we leave. I leave to go to studio, And that was the last, that was the last day I could shoot for the next few months because the team had a TV show they had to work on. So I wouldn't be able to shoot for the next few months.
Yeah.
So fine, I go to studio. I go on Instagram, I open this guy's our DMs. I see that he saw the message like an hour or 2 prior to that. I try hitting him up, nothing. Call, nothing, Then I call those close to him, and then I get some number of the person who was his road manager at the time. I call that guy, he says he's not with him. Then, so that day was a very flexible day for the team, they were not booked out. So they're like, okay, you know what, you can try and organize something, and then, because you have the whole day with us, basically.
Yeah.
Fine. So now keep in mind, I'm putting school on hold just to complete this interview.
Yeah.
And so luckily I'd been to that guy's place before, so I knew where he lived. And I'm like, you know what, let me go there, I go, I knock, nothing. But then I thought I was hearing sounds, I thought I was hearing talking and movements inside. I go get my friends because I left my friends downstairs. I go with them to the door and I'm like, gents, I know I'm not crazy. I knock, and then we all hear the movements and sounds from inside. So at that point, I was just too defeated. I couldn't cook.
That's crazy.
So man, that just shows you how much of a passion I have for this thing.
No, you can.
I went all those lengths just to secure an interview.
Yeah.
So man, I think that was one of my biggest challenges. I can't think of any others, but
Nah, that is actually crazy.
Guess not showing up is just
No, but big ups to you for that, man. Not a lot of people can actually put in that much effort and dedication into something. You know what I'm saying? So that is crazy, man. I hope you guys actually inspired by that because I don't even know the story, but hearing it from you, man, it's that's mad, bro. Moving on to the next question. How do you actually decide on which guests are going to be on the podcast, and how do you actually get in contact with them? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, they're huge people. How do you actually get them to pulling up to the show?
So at first, I used to reach out to people that I knew personally, celebrities that I knew personally.
Yeah.
Because that was easier. And then along the journey, I got someone reached out to me. Someone who did an internship at Slikour Live. Reached out to help me with my show, be my production manager and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's made things very, very much easier. He reaches out to the guests, makes sure everything's in order, makes sure by the time I get there to shoot, everything is ready.
Oh, damn.
Make sure the guests are accommodated and all that.
How do you actually manage to balance your public persona with your personal identity? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, like, things get crazy, but at the end of the day, you are your own person. You know what I'm saying? So how do you actually balance school and creation and all of those things?
As of lately, I won't even lie to you. I've been struggling balancing school with my outside life, my work life.
Yeah.
I feel like I've focused more on my work life than I have in school, but that is something I'm working on. Like everything has a balance in life.
Yeah.
And in terms of bro, like, as of late, like, I've always been able to balance it out, but as of lately, the workload just got a bit more hectic, So it's been but it's I'm working. All I can say is I'm working towards it,
Nah, definitely. Yeah. I feel like for me, the balance actually came with just doing, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Yes, you can plan, but like there's periods in life where at one moment you need to prioritize this, another moment you need to prioritize that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about finding the balance in between that, like shifting at the right time. Because obviously, when you're writing, you need to prioritize school and life, the school side. But when school isn't that hectic, you need to prioritize work, because obviously you're passionate about this thing and you want it to work out for you.
Exactly. So and in the month of May, to be honest, there's a lot of opportunities that came by. Opportunities that I wouldn't even dream of getting. For example, I did my first professional shoot. And it was with the brand as big as Calvin Klein. So it was Calvin Klein.
Yeah.
So I mean, what would you do? Because that shoot was a one-day thing. School is like an everyday thing. You can still catch up. So there's certain things you have to put on hold for another thing. As Shaq said, if you're writing exams, you have to put the work stuff on hold for a bit to focus on school. But on days where school isn't that hectic, you can just put it on hold a bit for opportunities that might come by, or work, or things like that. These past 2 months have tested me a lot, but I'm still here today. So
definitely, bro, definitely. I think we're all going through something in life, bro. It's just important that you just keep your head up and you actually just work on improving yourself and just getting through it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with hitting rock bottom. The problem is staying there. So you need to want to get out of that. So moving on to the next question, bro. Can you share a valuable life lesson or a piece of advice you have gained through your experiences in the influencer?
There's quite a few, The first one I can say is social media is not real life, I want you to see what I want you to see. So never think someone's life is going better than yours just because of what they post on social media, or never put pressure on yourself because of what you see on social media. We're young, we're very young. I've noticed this thing with social media that people tend to put pressure on themselves, me included, because you see your peers achieving things you only dream of achieving, but you don't know what went on behind the scenes for them to actually get there, I'll use my friends that are traders, for example, Maps and all of them, they are very inspiring, they are good people to have around because they push you to do greater, but there have been times where I found myself putting unnecessary pressure on myself because
you're scared of
Mom,
being left.
yeah,
And I
you
get
know,
that. I get that.
yeah. But so basically, what you see on social media is not real life. That's the first lesson.
Yeah.
Secondly, don't put excessive pressure on yourself. You know, we all have different journeys. You know, things happen differently for different people. You know,
Yeah, no,
for example, Shax and I could both start YouTube today. He could blow up today. He could blow up next week. Sorry, I could blow up next year. You know, but all that matters is that we both put in the work to get where we want to be. You know, I think those have been my biggest lessons.
Yeah, I feel like just to touch on everything that you said, it's a normal human reaction. You know what I'm saying? When people around you are winning, and like, not to say that like you want that for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because it's normal, bro. It's genuinely normal. So people shouldn't feel bad for that. It's just how you consume that and how you actually act on it that matters the most. You know what I'm saying? So you may have friends that have a lot of money or that are actually succeeding in life, and you feel like you haven't reached that yet. Don't let it consume you and break you down. Rather let it build you up. You know what I'm saying? So man, I've also been in that situation where like I felt like I was being left behind because like Maps is doing his thing, he's buying a car, Reggie's, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I felt that, especially because like I feel like you feel it more when it's people that are in your circle. Because you guys all started at the same place, and now it's like they like, you know, like they moving, you know what I'm saying? But like I just learned as time went on that like you shouldn't let it break you down, you know what I'm saying? Just let it build you up and motivate you to do more. And the second I actually started applying that in my life, the second I actually started seeing like blessings in my life, you know what I'm saying? Guys, one thing that I think I posted about it the other day, that things that can actually grant you eternal peace or peace in general is being happy for other people and genuinely just focusing on your own journey. You know what I'm saying? Don't focus on what's going on in someone else's life, because that's not going to do anything for you.
And just to add on that, I just remember this other interview I watched that Maps did, you know. So he was talking about how he was surrounded by people with sports cars every single day, you know. And at that time he didn't have one. But he didn't let that get to him. Like it was good pressure because it motivated him to work harder and all that. It didn't break him down as in he's not doing enough, things like that, you know. So that was a very touching, like that interview was very touching because it was something I related to, you know.
Definitely.
He didn't let all that pressure lead him to making financially responsible decisions and all that. So man, patience is key, you know. Hard work, patience, and then you'll see the results.
Man, definitely, bro. We all have our own journey on this earth, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, I can receive it next week, you can receive it next year. But the important thing is like timing, you know what I'm saying? Don't compare your timing with someone else, you know what I'm saying? There's a reason why you're not achieving what you're achieving as soon as I do. You know what I'm saying? You just need to take that in and respect that, bro. That's just how the universe works. That's just how everything works, you know what I'm saying? Just focus on your own journey, just working on yourself. But moving on to the next question. Can you share a significant turning point in your personal life that occurred outside of your influencer career? So outside of Luyanda Mabaso, the one that the people know, a personal life experience that was a turning point that made you see life in a different light and made you move differently.
Okay, so I think one of the biggest turning points happened at the beginning of last year. So as you may know, we were in matric in 2021. So obviously matric results come out in January of the next year. So in matric I got a bit too comfortable, you know. I didn't work as hard as I should have worked, you know. So obviously when if you put in the hard work, you'll see the results that you want to see. And unfortunately, I didn't get the results that I wish I got, you know. I didn't get the results that I wanted to get. And that was a hard moment of truth, because now I couldn't get into my dream school. I couldn't get into other universities and all that. But then, by the grace of God, the university I went to, you know, if you don't qualify for the degree that you want to study for or whatnot, there are other ways to get you to studying that degree, you know. So they have this thing called the entrance exam. So it's just a bunch of exams and assessments that test if you're competent enough to study that degree, you know. So I went through all those processes and all that. And by the grace of God, I passed them and I am studying what I wanted to study at my dream school, you know. So that was a very, that was a hard time in my life, you know, because it's almost as if it almost felt as if I was watching my future like run away. Yeah, I wanted to say this, but yeah, run away. Yeah, like yeah. So yeah, but as I said, by the grace of the man upstairs, it all worked out in the end, you know. So we all go through our own things, you know, but what matters is not focusing on the problem, but rather finding a solution to that problem, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I get that 100% and I respect it. I don't even think I can add on to that, bro, because like, yeah, I feel like for me a turning point in my personal life. I feel like I really touched on this in the previous video that I did. Obviously, my first year, everything that I would do in that, and yeah, man, yeah, this, yeah. Let's see. Okay, yeah. In the midst of your influencer journey, have there been moments of self-doubt and uncertainty?
Yeah, more than they should be, you know. I mean, self-doubt is something I believe that like all of us come across it, you know, at a point in our lives, you know. And it hits harder for some of us than it does for others, you know. So for me, it got to a point where I was even considering like deleting all my social media and just being a normal person, you know, like just starting afresh. Because I won't lie, as nice as like being in the spotlight, it looks nice from the outside, you know. But there's moments where you wish you weren't in the spotlight.
Yeah.
You miss your having a private life, you know, because once you're in the spotlight, you kind of allow people to invade your privacy, you know. So there's certain things that I missed having. I missed having my privacy, and sometimes I felt as if I wasn't growing the way I wanted to grow, you know. So I felt as if, you know, let me just give up, you know. But I'm really happy that I didn't give up. I didn't delete my social media and all of that, because I worked so hard to build that, you know.
Yeah, nah, definitely.
Only for me to just let it go that easily, you know. It just wouldn't make any sense. So yeah, self-doubt, uncertainty, it comes, it goes, you know. I wouldn't necessarily say I have a specific process of dealing with such, but I just appreciate I look back at the milestones that I've achieved in my career.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate God's blessings, you know, and yeah, so I've had those, but I overcame them.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like also me, bro, like I've also went through the whole self-doubt thing and uncertainty, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like obviously you're in the spotlight, like you said. There's a lot of people that you're not only letting down yourself, but there's also so many other people that you're letting down because you're so high up and you're so in the spotlight, you know. So it kind of scares you, bro, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, bro, it's not only about me, whatever, you know. And the second I actually realized that, like, I need to start focusing on me, you know what I'm saying? Yes, there's a lot of people that I would be letting down if
but you're letting yourself down as well.
You know what I'm saying? I'm also letting myself down, and the second that I put myself first is the second that I actually work on what I want to achieve the way that I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? If I need to take some time off, I'm doing it for me, not for other people. You know what I'm saying? If I need to go harder, I'm doing it for me, not for other people. Like a lot of a misconception that people have is that influencers have it all figured out, that they don't feel like these emotions and stuff like that. And like, guys, I don't necessarily receive hate. I believe I receive good criticism and I take it in that way. But like when you hate on someone's like dream or craft, like it actually does stick with them. You know, like as much as yes, you can see the positive ones,
But
you
the
always
negative
see-
ones
those
are
are
the
the
ones
ones
that stick.
those are the ones that hit you. You know what I'm saying? And like sometimes you just need to get to a point where you just like you zone it out, you zone out the hate because like at this point you have no choice but to do that. You know what I'm saying? So like for those of you that actually hate on influencers and creators, bro, like just think about it, man. Think about the possible damage that you could be causing in this person's life. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just content creation. There's self-esteem involved. Them as a person, you could be destroying that. You know what I'm saying? So just be careful of what you say on social media. I mean, it may be laughs, it may be jokes, but like sometimes you need to be considerate. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine if that was you in that spotlight and people were saying that to you. You know what I'm saying? So just be considerate of people's feelings, and if you're gonna give criticism, give it in a proper way. Like we're not saying don't criticize people, but don't be a dick about it. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all human, we're all on a journey. What advice would you give to anyone that looks up to you and wants to get into the field that you're in? And yeah, man, just you're talking to the people.
Okay. There's quite a lot to say, you know.
Yeah.
There is quite a lot to say, but just to start off, if you have a dream now, do whatever it takes to get to that dream, you know. As we've been mentioning throughout the whole interview, life comes at us in different ways, you know.
Yeah.
But no one's gonna feel sorry for you, you know. You may have it hard. All of us have it hard. You know, no one's gonna feel sorry for you. So just pick yourself up and carry on working, you know. Like obviously you can allow yourself to go through those emotions when bad things happen in your life or whatever. But crying about it forever is not gonna help you, it's not gonna help me, it's not gonna help anyone. So just pick yourself up, work towards your dream, and you know, yeah. And don't let anyone get in the way of your dream.
Yeah.
Do not let anyone get in the way of your dream, because you're not doing this for them, you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know. So stop at nothing to achieve what you want to achieve for yourself, you know. I went to cut my hair on Sunday evening.
Yeah.
So I bumped into this guy who was like, he's probably our age. Yeah. And so I was looking somewhere asking me to buy something. And so we get to the counter now. So there were two guys that worked there. Then the one guy recognized me face. He's like, yo, I think I know you from somewhere. Aren't you from TikTok? Nah.
Yeah.
Then when that other guy looks up, he goes crazy, bro. He's like, yo, Luyanda from the boys, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Fine. Then I leave the shop, I go to Spot to get something else. Then I come back to them. And then I actually had a conversation with that guy, bro. So he's telling me that like, yo, what we're doing is like really inspiring, you know, like he enjoys our content, like he'd use his lost data, like when he come back from school, download our videos, watch our videos, you know.
That's crazy.
And in my head at that time, when he was telling me that, oh bro, I appreciate the love and whatever, but I've heard that from a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
But then he proceeded to say something that really touched me, you know. He proceeded to tell me that we inspire him, you know, we inspire him to work towards his dream, you know, because we started pretty much with nothing. We just started as kids having fun, but look at how far it's taken us.
Yeah.
So he told me that like he had to drop out of school because his mom couldn't afford the fees and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we're the ones who motivated him to go out there and get a job, you know. We're motivating him. He's working towards starting a YouTube channel as well. Mm-hmm. So we're his biggest motivation towards that, because we inspire him to work towards where we've gotten, you know.
Nah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So that really touched me. So yeah, bro, like don't stop at nothing to achieve your dream.
Yeah.
That's where I can leave it.
Yeah, man. I think that's actually such a beautiful story, man. Like I'll never undermine the amount of lives that we touch.
Like it's something that still shocks me every single day. Like it's still hard for me to believe, you know.
Yeah.
Like me just as Luyanda Mabaso, you know.
You're actually like quite a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to own that. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing that I learned in life is that you need to value yourself as a person for other people to value you.
That's so true.
You know what I'm saying? If youth, no shade, but if you see yourself as Luyanda Mabaso, no more guy, people are gonna see you as that. You know what I'm saying? So you need to see yourself as Luyanda Mabaso. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to tell yourself, or you need to see yourself how you want other people to see you. You know what I'm saying? You need to own who you are and actually act on it so that you value yourself. You know what I'm saying? The more you value yourself, the more other people value you. You know what I'm saying? So that's just advice, not only for him, but for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself on a very high pedestal so that people can value you, so people can see you the way that you see yourself. And if you see yourself at a high pedestal, so will other people. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't, then that's their loss, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not everyone is gonna value you as a person.
Yeah.
That's just something you have to learn to live with, you know. You're not gonna be liked by everyone.
Yeah.
But for those people that actually value you as a person, people that actually have genuine love for you, you know,
Yeah.
those are the people that you should have around in your life.
No, definitely, man. I guess that's the end of the show, guys. Yeah, that's the end of the show. It was lovely, man. It was good to have you. Thank you for coming out again, man, and sharing your knowledge, your experiences, and just connecting with the people, inspiring the youth, motivating the youth. I hope you guys actually got something out of this, and you're actually gonna apply it in your life, because that's what this podcast is all about. You know, just touching young lives and even old lives, and just motivating you guys to do better and achieve more, and showing you guys that it's actually possible. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these shows. You guys just comment down who you actually want to see next, and I will make it happen. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, you guys are gonna have to engage with the content as much as possible, because the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the show gets, the bigger the guests get. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you guys are my investors, so let's just continue growing as a community. And yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you so much again for pulling up. Anything you want to say, where they can find you, anything that's coming up for you, specifically on the creative side? This is your moment.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me firstly.
Yeah.
Make sure you do engage with this content, like, subscribe, share this with your family and friends.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, once again, you can find me on Instagram, Luyanda.Mabaso_, TikTok, Luyanda.Mabaso. The ultimate plug with Luyanda Mabaso on YouTube under the Slikour Live platform. You know, I do appreciate the support from you guys and all that, and it makes me happy that we're growing as brothers. You know?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like that's been my biggest wish, you know, and it makes me happy that it's actually something that's happening.
Yeah.
So yeah. Once again, guys, stop at nothing to achieve that dream. I'll say that again. Stop at nothing. Whether it's school, whether it's music, YouTube, whatever it is, you know, stop at nothing.
Yeah. No, definitely, man. Definitely. This is also me saying thank you guys so much for the support, for the love. I appreciate you guys so much. And yeah, man, that's it from us. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Judge me for my teenage years. I've been dealing with my flaws and my fears, and I feel overwhelmed.